Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I hope you are all doing very well today. So what I'd like to do is I would like to take this opportunity, if I may, to announce to you the top 50 Criterion titles as voted by you. So, as some of you may know already, over the course of about 2 months, I was asking people, you, the viewers, my dear friends, to submit to me your top 10 favorite Criterion titles. And I set up a bunch of guidelines and rules so that we could all be on the same page. And with that, I asked you to think about what titles or releases or films in the Criterion collection that you were interested in and that you really loved and that you considered your top 10 favorites. And then what I did on my end is I gathered all of those votes or those submissions, and I developed, thanks to you and your great efforts, a complete list of the favorite Criterion titles as voted by you, the viewers. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you the results of that and just go from there. It's a very interesting list. Now, it's a very long list, so what I will try to do is I will try to present the entire list over the course of separate videos after this particular one. But for now, let me present to you the top 50 favorite Criterion titles as voted by you, the viewer. So I should let you know that for the most part, I took your votes in earnest, and I took them for what they said, so I didn't have to do too much editorial decision making on my part, which was very helpful for me. There were a couple places here and there where I had to make some slight decisions on my part because of certain peculiarities with respect to specific titles, and perhaps I'll get to those when the time comes for those. But as far as the top 50 are concerned, I didn't necessarily have to run into those. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to present to you the top 50, and in actual fact, there are more than 50 because there were a number of titles that ended up being tied for a particular place here and there. So this is the top 50 plus titles that are the favorite Criterion titles as voted by you, the viewer. Let us begin with the titles that each received 8 votes, and these are all tied for 49th place. So these are all tied for 49th place, and again, these are the titles that received 8 votes each. Now they're in no particular order, but the first title that I'd like to show is this one, which is Spine number 536. This is Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. Then there is Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, which is Spine number 97. And then there is Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love here at Spine 843. There is the Akira Kurosawa film Rashomon, which is at Spine number 138. And then we have another Kurosawa film, which is Spine number 316. This is out of print at the moment, but this is the DVD of the film Ran. Then there is Spine 164. This is the Tarkovsky film called Solaris. Next is spine 490. This is the Wim Wenders film, Wings of Desire. Next, spine number 948, the film by Rob Reiner. This is The Princess Bride. Next, spine number 680, the Charlie Chaplin film, City Lights. And last but not least, spine 630, this is the Roman Polanski film called Rosemary's Baby. Next, this is the set of titles which is tied at 44th place, and each of these titles received 9 votes. So each of these titles received 9 votes. Again, this is 44th place. So in no particular order, we have first spine 800. This is the Mike Nichols film, The Graduate. Next, spine 538. This is the Stanley Kubrick film, Paths of Glory. Spine 868. The film by Juzo Itami. This is the film Tampopo. Next, spine number 539. The director is Nobuhiko Obayashi. The film is House. And last, but certainly not least, spine number 679. This is the collective set of films that is included in this set, which is Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman. So I should note for the record that the entries that I received with respect to the Zatoichi set were for the set itself. And of course, I provided the option to anyone who wanted to. You could have very easily given me an individual title from the set and I would have counted it. Not a problem at all. But just for the purposes of this particular poll, all the entries I received with respect to the Zatoichi films were for the set itself, and so I've given the votes here. Again, this is 9 votes for Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman, the box set, which means that this is one of the titles that is at 44th place. Next, these are the films that each received 10 votes, and so this makes them all tied for 33rd place. So this is 33rd place, all the films that received 10 votes in the poll. So in no particular order, we have first spine 374, the Vittorio De Sica film, Bicycle Thieves. Next, spine number 62. The film is Carl Theodor Dreyer's The Passion of Joan of Arc. Next, spine 594. This is the film directed by Ishiro Honda, and this is the film Godzilla. Next, spine 309. This is the film by Kenji Mizoguchi, which is called Ugetsu. Next, spine number 30, Fritz Lang's film, M. Next, spine number 36, Henri-Georges Clouzot's film, The Wages of Fear. Next, spine 221. This is the film directed by Akira Kurosawa. The film is Ikiru. Next, spine 977. This is the film directed by David Lynch. The film is Blue Velvet. Next, spine 898. This is the film also directed by David Lynch. The film is Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Next, spine 44. This is the film by Powell and Pressburger. The film is The Red Shoes. And last but not least, Spine 336, the film by Richard Linklater. The film is Dazed and Confused. Next, these are the films that each received 11 votes, which places them tied for 29th place. So this is 29. So these are the films tied at 29th place, again, each with 11 votes. So the first one is Spine 29. This is the Peter Weir film, which is Picnic at Hanging Rock. Next, Spine 137. This is the film directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The film is Notorious. Next, Spine 13. This is the Jonathan Demme film, The Silence of the Lambs. Spine 942. This is the film directed by Terrence Malick, The Tree of Life. Next, these are the films that each received 12 votes, so they are all tied for 24th place. So the first is the box set. The box set itself is Spine 856, and this is the Before trilogy. So once again, I should point out that I received these 12 votes for the Before trilogy. So this was permitted under the poll, and this is the set which is comprised of Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. So the set itself is given the 12 votes and thus is at 24th place, the Before trilogy. Next, Spine 11, the Ingmar Bergman film. This is The Seventh Seal. Next, Spine 381, Mathieu Kassowitz's film La Haine. Next, Spine 302. This is the Masaki Kobayashi film Harakiri. And Spine 838. This is the Guillermo del Toro film called Pan's Labyrinth. Next are the films that are tied for 18th place. Again, that's 18th place. These each received 13 votes. So the first here, in no particular order, the first is Spine 647. This is the Kazan film, which is On the Waterfront. Next, Spine 453. Currently out of print, but this is the older Blu-ray release. This is Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express. Spine 339. This is the Edward Yang film called EE. Next is Spine 217. This is the film by Yasujiro Ozu. The film is called Tokyo Story. Next, Spine 140, the Federico Fellini film called 8½. And the Andrei Tarkovsky film at Spine 34. This is the film called Andrei Rublev. Next, these are the films that are tied for 16th place. These received 14 votes each. So the first one is Spine 821, the Stanley Kubrick film Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Next, spine 837. This is the Kieślowski work Decalogue. Now, I should point out that the votes that I received for this particular work, Decalogue, are for the entirety of the work itself. So we are giving 14 votes to the entire Decalogue series, which places it, again, tied for 16th place with Dr. Strangelove. Next is 13. So 13th place, we have a tie. 3 films tied for 13th place, each receiving 15 votes. So these received 15 votes each. So the first one is the Paul Schrader film, Spine 432, Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. Next, Spine 701. This is the Ingmar Bergman film, Persona. Next is Spine 541. This is the Charles Laughton film called The Night of the Hunter. And with that, my friends, we are now entering the top 10. These are the top 10 favorite Criterion titles as voted by you, the viewer. So this is very exciting for me. So let us begin with the films that were tied for 10th place. So again, we have a tie, 3 films tied for 10th place, each receiving 16 votes. So the first one is Spine 51. This is the Terry Gilliam film called Brazil. Next, Spine 147. This is the film directed by Wong Kar-wai. The film is In the Mood for Love. Spine 725. This is the film directed by David Lynch. The film is Eraserhead. Next, we have the films tied for 8th place. So these are 2 films tied for 8th place. Each received 18 votes. So that's very significant. So the first film, again, tied for 8th place is Spine 64, the Carol Reed film called The Third Man. Then we have Spine 804. This is the film directed by Edward Yang, which is A Brighter Summer Day. Next, we have one film which is on 7th place. So this is 7th place, one film. This received 19 votes. So this is Spine 501, Wim Wenders' film, Paris, Texas. Next, this is number 6. So this is the release that received a total of 20 votes. This is the behemoth set called Ingmar Bergman's Cinema. So once again, I received 20 votes for this release as a whole. So that includes all of the films that are, of course, included in this set. So as I said, I accepted votes for box sets and collections as well as individual releases. And so for purposes of this poll, I received 20 votes for Ingmar Bergman's Cinema, which places this at number 6. Next, these are the 2 films tied for 4th place. Now, each of these films received 24 votes. So once again, each received 24 votes, which places them tied for 4th place. So the first is Spine 591. This is the film directed by Sidney Lumet. This is 12 Angry Men. Then we have Spine 897. This is the film directed by Stanley Kubrick, which is Barry Lyndon. Next, this is the film that is number 3. So 3rd place. This film received a total of 28 votes. 28 votes. So 28 people thought this was one of their 10 favorite Criterion releases. This is the film Spine 779. The film is directed by David Lynch, and the title of the film is Mulholland Drive. Next, this is the film that received 29 votes, which places it at number 2. So number 3 was Mulholland Drive with 28 votes, and this next film just beat that with 29 votes. Very interesting. This is the film that is at Spine 888. This is the film by Tarkovsky. The film is Stalker. So as I said, at 3rd place we had Mulholland Drive with 28 votes. Next, at 2nd place, we had Stalker with 29 votes. So this is 2nd place, this is 3rd place. So 28 votes, then 29 votes. But then that leaves the title that was overwhelmingly chosen by you, the viewers, as being the favorite Criterion title. This was the title that was mentioned the most of all of the comments and submissions that I received over 2 months, again from nearly 180 people total. Now, as I said, the Mulholland Drive at 3rd place received 28 votes. Next, at number 2, Stalker received 29 votes, but the number 1 title selected by you received 49 votes. 49 votes. This is an overwhelming number 1. So, my dear friends, it is my great pleasure and honor to present to you your number 1 favorite Criterion Collection release, and that is Spine number 2. The film is Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai was overwhelmingly selected by you, the viewers, as being your top favorite Criterion Collection release. So bravo, well done. You chose a good one. This was a great way to end this list. Number 1, my friends, is Seven Samurai. So, my friends, that is the top 50 or so titles as selected by you, the viewers. And so I want to thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity to look these over. It's been really great. Now, I will just let you know a few things going forward. Please note that all of the submissions are still available as comments to that original video I made about the viewer poll. So, if you are at all curious about who voted for what exactly, please feel free to scroll down the comment section of that video and check out who voted for what. It's a very interesting set of comments, and I'm very impressed. It was such a great honor for me also because I have had the opportunity to speak with quite a number of you who very kindly submitted your submissions. But this was the first time for me to get a sense of what Criterion titles you liked, and so it was a really interesting glimpse for me into the kinds of films that you like. So I was really privileged and honored to have been able to hear that kind of information from you. It's been really great. Also, I should say that in some separate videos that I will make later, I will present the rest of the list. It's a very long list, so just please, I ask for your patience, but I will get those videos out as soon as possible. This includes all the votes. As I said, the lists that I presented today were the titles that received 8 votes and more, which then made up the top 50 or so favorite Criterion titles list as voted by you, the viewers. But for all the other titles that received 7 votes and less, I will present those in a set of videos going forward. It's a very interesting list, and it's very interesting to see what films were mentioned as a whole and what titles were mentioned, what releases were mentioned. So I think it's only fair that I release that for you to look through and to consider. It's, again, very interesting. So just keep a lookout for those other videos that hopefully will come soon here on this YouTube channel. Next, when I'm thinking about, as a sort of closing comment, this top 50 or so favorites list that all of you, the viewers, my dear friends, selected, I'm just incredibly impressed, and I'm just blown away by how great this list is. It really is great. On a personal note, there are a number of titles here that have appeared on past top 10 Criterion favorites videos that I've made before, and so it's really thrilling to see some of them appear here again in this collective list. I am, for example, very pleased to see, for instance, at number 13, Mishima. It's a personal favorite of mine. I'm very pleased, very pleased to see A Brighter Summer Day crack the top 10, which is at number 8. I was very happy to see that. I should also point out that for a while there, it was actually quite close. For the first month anyway, it was really close between, or among the films Seven Samurai, Mulholland Drive, and Stalker. And for a while there, actually, Mulholland Drive had the most votes for a few weeks, but then after a while, Seven Samurai votes just accumulated quite overwhelmingly, and so it became, as I said, the one which received the most votes, which is 49, which is absolutely incredible. But to think of the other films that made up that top 5, they were all very close in terms of number of votes received. Stalker at 29, Mulholland Drive at 28, and then following that, not so far behind, are 12 Angry Men and Barry Lyndon, each with 24. And so this was a very close poll in many respects, but it is, once again, a very interesting thing to see what films you are interested in and what films you consider to be your favorites. And so this was quite a pleasure for me to conduct, and hopefully this will be the first of many polls going forward here in the Criterion, in this YouTube channel, so with respect to the Criterion collection. So I want to say thank you very much for those of you who participated, and thank you very much for sharing with me your likes with respect to the Criterion collection. It just shows just how vast and various the titles are in the Criterion collection. It's just so big. It's really a collection that I think can cater to almost anyone's needs and wishes and tastes in terms of cinema. Again, it's not perfect, but I think it's a pretty good collection. And so I'm looking at this top 50 list, and I see a lot of variation and a lot of interesting twists and turns, if you will, which makes for a very interesting and lively discussion about cinema, from my personal opinion. So I want to say thank you very much for those of you who participated, and thank you for your energy and time and commitment, as always, to this thing that we all love, and this thing that really connects all of us, and it's the thing that we have in common, is it not? And that is our common love for this thing that we call cinema. So, with that, my friends, I want to say thank you very much again, and I will be back with some more videos just to round out the discussion for the remaining part of the list, and I will also try to post the list in writing so you can look at it and just review it at your own pace and leisure. So with that, my friends, thank you very much for your time, and until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great movies, and take very good care of yourselves, my dear friends. So until we meet again, cheers.